with Manifest Yoga Studio. This morning we're going to work into a little bit of a different perspective. So we are going to go into a little inversion, which is a headstand. And I don't want you to feel intimidated by that at all. You don't have to go up if you don't feel safe, and you are so welcome to use a wall in your house. We don't normally use a wall in the studio, but I can't be with you to support you in that, and so go ahead if you feel like you need to have a wall behind you. That is perfectly okay. So we're going to start in a Japanese sitting. So just coming onto our knees and just sitting back. Just taking a moment here, lengthening through the spine, bringing the crown of head up towards the ceiling, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. I want you to start taking this form because this is really important when you're upside down. So really finding that root through the tailbone, crown of the head towards the ceiling, and pull the belly button in towards the spine, roll the shoulders back. Just very slightly, pull the shoulders away from the ears. You find yourself in this lengthened position. We're just going to close our eyes here for a moment and just connect in, as always in these practices. How are we doing today? How do we feel this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whenever you are practicing? Just taking that moment to acknowledge where you are at. Take a big breath in and sweep the hands up towards the ceiling. Take a moment, bring the palms together, and take a moment to look up at the thumbs. Notice how your breath has to change here. And then exhale as you bring your hands down towards your heart. Bring the thumbs to the sternum. Big inhale, sweep your hands up towards the ceiling again. Turn the gaze, look at the thumbs, bring the palms together, find length in the spine. Exhale as you bring your hands back down towards the sternum. Big inhale, sweep the hands high. Exhale, bring the thumbs to the sternum. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, sweep the hands wide. Exhale, wrap eel arms right over left. Bring the elbows up to shoulder height with an inhale. And with an exhale, drop the cheeks. And take a moment here. This is a really nice place to check in. The breath has to change. It swirls around the heart space, the space between the spine and the heart. And you slightly cocooning yourself within your own arms. Inhale, sweep your hands up towards the ceiling and bring the palms to touch. Turn the gaze to the thumbs. Exhale as you sweep the hands down past the sternum. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, bring them back down to the sternum. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, sweep them down. Inhale, sweep the hands wide. Exhale, take eagle arms, wrap left over right. Bring the elbows up to shoulder height with a breath in. Exhale, drop the cheeks. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, drop the hands down, back onto the thighs, palms facing down. Beautiful moment at the beginning of this practice where we really bring the breath into the body and we take those moments to connect to how we are and who we are today, this ever-changing process of being. And the wonderful thing about a little bit of inversion or even working towards an inversion is that it brings you into the present moment. You cannot be thinking about future or past while you are upside down. And when you are upside down, you have to be concentrating on your breath. And that pulls you even further in towards yourself and in towards the moment. And that's why we are going to practice that today. Take a nice big breath in. With an exhale, you're going to bring your hands down onto the mat and bring yourself into a nice, easy tabletop position. I want you to start out here so the wrists are below the shoulders. And just start by pulling the belly button just gently in towards the spine. Nice, easy tabletop. We're looking for nice flat back. But this acknowledgement that we are aware of the spine and we're aware of the core muscles. And then with the breath in, we're going to sweep our head towards the ceiling and take our belly down towards the floor. On the breath out, we're going to curl our spine up towards the ceiling and tuck our tailbone. Really find a big stretch here. Take a moment, wriggle it out if you need to. And the breath in, belly back, comes back down to floor, shoulders away from ears, crown of head towards the ceiling. And breath out, curl it around, spine to ceiling, belly button in towards the spine, tailbone tucked, breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, breath in, and breath out. Perfect, come back to a nice neutral spine. Take a moment here, take your pause. Again, feel the neutral back. Feel the belly button pulled in towards the spine. Feel how that feels. Remember how that feels. And then nice and easy, we're going to bring our forearms down onto the mat. We're just going to check in on our alignment here to begin with. So we want to take our right hand across to our left shoulder, left hand across to your right shoulder. This is where you know that your elbows are in the correct place, and then you can bring your forearms down, interlace your fingers. We're going to come into cat-cow in this position. So breath in, belly to floor, shoulders away from ears. Breath out as we curl the spine towards the ceiling, chin to chest, tap the tailbone. Really make space between the ears and the shoulders if you can, or feel like you're pushing your elbows into the floor and the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Breath in, belly to floor. Breath out, chin to chest. Keep rooting down into the ground. Breath in, belly to floor. Breath out, chin to chest. Breath in, belly to floor. And breath out, chin to chest. Breath in, belly to floor. Breath out, chin to chest. I want you to hold this position. So notice here, separate the shoulder blades around the back. Take the spine towards the ceiling. Press the elbows into the ground. Now you're going to tuck under your toes and you're just going to send your tailbone up towards the sky. Maybe this is as far as you want to go. Give it a nice little pedal out here. So the first one we've done, so feel into this. I don't want you to go too deep at the moment. So just feeling into what this feels like. Give it a moment here. Take a few breaths, maybe settle. And then bring your knees back down to the floor. Bring your tailbone down to your heels and just take your hands down to either side here, down towards your feet. So you come into a little bit in the embryo pose, take your forehead down onto the mat. And just take a moment. Perfect. And bring your hands back to the top of the mat. Come back into your position ready for dolphin. We call this angry pose quite often in yoga. It can bring out a lot of frustration and anger, and so I want you to just acknowledge that and feel it. It's okay, you're really allowed to be feeling angry at the moment if that's what is happening to you. So just go with that anger if it comes up. So again, press the elbows into the mat, round the back, push the shoulder blades away from each other and the spine towards the ceiling, tuck under the toes, lift the tailbone towards the sky. This time maybe walking in a little bit more if it feels good. If it doesn't, that's okay. Just go with where you feel like you need to go. 5 breaths. Perfect. Bring your knees down onto the mat. Come back into your embryo pose, so tailbone down onto the heels. Take your hands either side. Forward onto the mat. Take a moment. And take 5 breaths here. Perfect. Last time. Hands sweep forward. Come back. Interlace the fingers, elbows onto the mat, forearms onto the mat. Separate the shoulder blades. Really make that space. Spine towards the ceiling, tuck under the toes, lift the tailbone. Maybe walking a little bit further in this time. My hamstrings are feeling super tight after some long walks. So, you know, just go with whatever you're feeling right now. Maybe your shoulders are tight. Keep pulling the belly button in towards the spine. One more breath. Perfect. Bring your knees down. Last time. Come find your embryo. Hands down to the sides. Forward on the mat. And just this moment of acknowledgement. Did that make you feel a little angry? Maybe a little sad? Maybe a little overwhelmed? And that's all okay. Sweep the hands back around to the top of the mat. Lift the head, come back towards your tabletop. Tuck under your toes, and this time find yourself in your downward dog. And again, always this beautiful invitation to give it a pedal out. Kind of always say this is the first time we meet ourselves on our mat, so just giving it that pedal, feeling into each hamstring, feeling into the shoulders, feeling into the spine. And then we find ourselves settled in our downward dog, so pressing the palms into the mat. Belly button in towards spine, lift the tailbone, roll the heels down. Perfect, then look towards your hands and step your feet into that space. You meet yourself at the top of your mat. And exhale as you take a fold here, nice and gentle fold. Maybe bringing the fingers to the elbows, you find a little ragdoll. And a little length into those hamstrings is going to help into getting you up there. So maybe some little figure of eights or whatever feels like you need in your body, little rocks from side to side. Just allow a little of loosening of some of the tension we're holding on to. And then we're going to roll up through our spine. Chin to chest, and then coming through last. We bring our hands to our heart center. We feel ourselves grounded here. And I want you to be super active in this pose. So we want to feel the 4 corners of the feet on the mat. Make a note, lift the toes and roll the toes back down. Lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs. Tuck the tailbone, pull the belly button in towards the spine. Roll the shoulders back, bring the thumbs to the sternum. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Super active even in this simple mountain pose. How does that feel? Make a note. Breath in as the hands sweep up towards the ceiling. Bring the palms together, turn the gaze towards the thumbs. Breath out as you bring the hands back down towards the stone. One more time, breath in as you sweep the hands up towards the ceiling. Bring the palms together, turn the gaze to look at the thumbs, lengthen, find more length, more. Exhale as you bring the hands back down towards the stone. We're going to come into a little modified sun salutation here, kind of mix of A and B. Breath in, sweep the hands up towards the ceiling, palms touch. Breath out as you fold and bow all the way down to your mat. Breath in as you either step back or float back, whatever you want to do in your practice, find your plank. And bring your knees down if you need to, otherwise a full chaturanga. Breath in as you sweep through your up dog. And then roll over your toes and find your down dog. Breath in as right leg steps forward. Stay in a crescent lunge. Stay on the toes of your back foot. Hands rise all the way up towards the ceiling. Bring the palms together. Turn your gaze to look at your thumbs. Breath out as hands come down to mat. Step that right foot back. And either knees down or full chaturanga. Breath in through the up dog. Roll over your toes. Find your down dog. Inhale as left leg steps forward. Find that crescent lunge again. You're staying on the toes of the back foot. Hands rise. Bring the palms to touch. Breath out as hands come to mat. Step the left foot back. Your chaturanga, whatever version you're doing. Or knees, chest, chin, and back into your down dog. 5 breaths in your down dog. Find that steady place. Press the palms in. Lift the tailbone. Beautiful. Look to the top of your space. Either step or float. Find your halfway lift. Breath out as you find your forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Bring the palms to touch. Breath out as the hands come back down to your half thumbs to stone. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Palms to touch. Breath out as you take it all the way down. Bow to your mat. Find yourself back through your plank and your vinyasa. So maybe stepping the other leg back, maybe floating back this time. Through your chaturanga. Up dog. Roll over your toes. And find your down dog. Straight into the movement. Right leg steps forward. Find your crescent lunge. Hands rise. Bring the palms to touch. Turn your gaze to look at your thumbs. Exhale as hands come down to mat. Step the right leg back. Maybe you want to adjust it. Knees want to come down. Find an up dog or a cobra, whatever it's feeling like it's in your practice today. Find your down dog. Breath in. Left leg steps forward. Find that crescent lunge. Palms touch. Breath out as you come back down. Find your plank. Maybe your chaturanga. Maybe your knees, chest, chin. And work your way back to your down dog. Take a pause. Reconnect. The story starts again. Look to the top of your space. Step into your halfway lift or float into your halfway lift. And breath out as you take it down and back to your mat. Inhale as you sweep the hands all the way up. Palms to touch, find that length. Breath out as you bring your hands back down to your heart. We're going to come one last round. Breath in, sweep the hands up towards the ceiling. Palms to touch. Breath out as you bow to your mat. Breath in as you step it back. Find your plank. Maybe knees, chest, chin. Maybe chaturanga. Maybe cobra. Maybe up dog. All the way through to your down dog. And vary it if you feel like it. Or stick to one. Really up to you. Right leg steps forward. Find that crescent lunge. Hands come up. Palms touch. Breath out as hands come to mat. Step the right leg back. Find chaturanga. Or knees, chest, chin, whatever you are doing. Roll through, find your down dog. Left leg steps forward. Palms touch. Beautiful. Hands come back down to mat. Step that leg back. Find your vinyasa. And roll over your toes. And find that down dog. Beautiful, give it a little wriggle. Settle into it, find your 5 breaths. Heels are very slightly turned down. Feet are hip distance apart. Remember, pull the belly button in towards the spine, tailbone towards the ceiling. Palms press into your mat, heels press down. Breath in, right leg into the air, 3-legged dog. Press that left heel down into the mat. And press the palms into the mat. Don't worry about too much about how high this leg is going. Just feel that rooting down into the mat. Breath out as you bring knee to nose, shoulders over waist. Take a pause here. Beautiful. Step that foot between the hands. And then come into that crescent lunge again. The hands are going to rise up, palms are going to touch. And bring your gaze up towards your palms. We're going to step it forward to 1-legged mountain. So nice and steady, press into the right foot. As you bring the left knee in towards the chest, you can separate your hands and the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Flex the toes of the left foot. Really bring the knee in towards the chest. Really root down here. And we're going to find ourselves wrapping this left leg around as we come through eagle. And wrap the right arm over. And bring the elbows up to shoulder height. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Beautiful. Unravel that left leg. Send the left leg towards the back of your mat. As you come into a warrior 3, flex the toes of the left foot, try and square the hips. And then step that left foot to the back of the mat. In a slight 60-degree angle, you're coming into a warrior 1 position. Breath in as you lift the elbows up towards the ceiling, and breath out as you find yourself in humble warrior. So bringing that right shoulder down to the inside of the right knee. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then unravel the hands. Take the left hand down onto the mat. Rotate through the left toes. Take the right hand up towards the ceiling. Turn your gaze towards your right thumb. Just engage through this right thigh, slightly pulling the thigh in towards the side body. Then we're going to step the right foot on top of the left, or bring the knee down if you're not feeling so strong today. As you stack back into a side plank, lift the hips, right hand up towards the ceiling. Send the hips slightly forward. 1 more breath here, bring the right hand down onto the mat. You find yourself in your plank pose. Pull the belly button in towards the spine, press the shoulders away. Take a moment. Bring yourself through vinyasa or just straight into your down dog if that's where you want to go. All the way back through into your down dog. Beautiful, left leg rises. Press the right heel down. Press the palms into the mat. Knee to nose, take that pause. And then step the foot through between the hands. You're going to come into your crescent lunge. So bring the hands up, bring the palms together. Separate the hands, bring the right knee in towards the chest as you find your 1-legged mountain. Find the length, flex the toes, root down through that left foot, and then wrap into eagle, right arm over, left arm over, elbows up to shoulder height. Take a moment, find balance. Beautiful, unravel the right leg. Nice and slowly take the right heel towards the back of the room. Find yourself in your warrior 3. Hope you've got a little bit more space than me. Then step it back. Lift the elbows up. Drop down into your humble warrior. This beautiful position. A little bit introspective. Strong, humble. 1 more breath here.
Beautiful. Unravel the hands. Right hand comes down. Roll onto the toes of the right foot. Send the left hand up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Step the left foot back. Find a side plank on this side. Lift the hips up. Send the hips forward. Beautiful. Find plank. Take a moment in your plank. Really engage. Bring your knees down if you need to. Otherwise, find your vinyasa. And then roll all the way through. And find your down dog. Find a few breaths here. Inhale, right leg rises. Three-legged dog. Again, press that left heel down into the mat. Press the palms into the mat. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Find that engagement. Breath out as you find knee to nose. Take the pause. Step the foot through between the hands. Take a moment. Start to lift up. Bring the hands up. Bring the palms to touch. Turn the gaze. I'm going to pause here a little bit longer. Beautiful. Separate the hands. Step it all the way forward into your one-legged mountain. Bring the knee in towards the chest. This time I'm going to find a tree pose. So you're going to take your left hand onto your left foot and just tuck it into your right thigh there. Bring your hands to your heart. I want you to think in this tree pose. So what is engaged? So root down through the right foot. Lift the toes. Spread them back down. Feel all four corners of that foot on the mat. Pressing the left foot in towards the right thigh. Turn the hip out. Not the hip out, keep the hip square. Turn the knee out. Lift the belly button in towards the spine. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Engage the right thigh. Tailbone is tucked. How does it feel to be here? Beautiful, keeping your hands at your heart center. Just let that left foot drop away, come back into your one-legged mountain. And then we're going to step that left foot back, but not back as far as we normally do. So we're going to go into pyramid. So step it back about a meter. So we've got our left foot at a 60-degree angle, right toes are pointing forward. Breath in as you lift through the heart. Breath out as you lower yourself down. Hands can drop down towards the floor. Or maybe onto your shin if that's where you feel. Find yourself in a nice flat back here. Pull back on the right hip. We're going to take the left hand to the inside of the right foot. And we're going to just lift our right hand up towards the ceiling to find a revolved triangle. If this is super tight for you, take the hand onto the ankle maybe. Just find a little bit more lift on this pose. So just whatever you feel you need. Remember to keep pulling back onto that right hip. Maybe you can turn your head to look at your hand. Maybe not, just maybe turn your head to look forward. Maybe you want to keep your balance a little bit more and keep looking down, and that is okay. Our balance is quite affected at the moment. Just accept it and go with it. Left hand is going to come in front of right foot as left foot is going to lift. So extend through that left heel towards the back of the room. Square the hips. Right hand in front. You can keep your gaze down towards the floor. That is fine. Beautiful. And then step it, the left foot all the way towards the back of the room. Bring the left hand down onto the mat. You're back in a revolved lunge. Sink into this one a little bit more. And turn your gaze to look up at that right hand. Send that right hand down onto the mat. Step the right foot back. You're back in your downward dog. Beautiful. Breath in, left leg rises. Press the right heel down into the mat. Press the palms into the mat. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Find that length. Breath out as you find knee to nose. Take the pause. Step the foot through between the hands. Breath in as you lift up. Palms come to touch. We're going to take a moment here. Testing our balance, our steadiness, our gaze, our intention, our attention. Hands come apart as we bring ourselves into our one-legged mountain. So root down through that left foot. Make that space in the body, this time coming into tree on the other side. Right foot coming to the inside of the left thigh. Bring your hands down your heart center. Lift the toes of the left foot, roll them back down. Engage the thigh. Hips are square, so if you can turn the knee out slightly. Belly button in towards spine, tailbone tucked, shoulders down. Away from the ears and the crown of the head. Lift it towards the ceiling. Just take a moment here, really grounded and rooted. We really need to be trees through this experience and know that we are rooted and grounded, and yet we have to be able to sway with the storm and just go with the wind. Bring that right knee back in, send it back and step back just that short way as you find your pyramid. So about 1 meter, right toes on out at about a 60-degree angle. Belly button is in towards spine and breath out as you fold down again, finding wherever you need to go. Maybe it's the hands onto the shin. Maybe it's onto the floor. Pulling back on the left hip. Just going wherever you need to go this morning. Maybe it's not as deep as you normally do, or today or evening, whenever you are practicing. Maybe it's just not where you were before, and that is okay. Just be with it. Right hand comes down to the inside of the left foot or onto the left ankle if you need to. The left hand goes up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Take the right hand in front of the left foot as we find our revolved half moon on this side. So lift that right leg off the floor. Flex the toes. The right heel going towards the back of the room. Left hand going towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And step the right foot towards the back of the room. Right hand comes down. Sink into this one a little bit more. Left thigh coming in towards side body. And turn your gaze to look up at your left hand. Left hand comes down to floor. Step the left leg back. Find yourself back in your downward dog. Give it a little pedal out. And then bring your knees down onto the floor. You find yourself back in your tabletop. And just for a moment come to sit back on your heels. So just back in your Japanese sitting. So I'm going to talk you into headstand and I just want you to just listen to my instructions and only go as far as you feel you need to go. So if you're far enough as Dolphin, then you're going to get all the same benefits of just being in a Dolphin pose and you can stay right there. If you feel the need to use a wall, then go ahead and use the wall. We are just doing what we can do in our own practice. And the important thing is how safe you feel, and I think it's particularly important right now to feel safe doing these things. You're maybe on your own, and so just practice safety first. So you want to start out like we did before, as if we were going to go into those cat-cows with our dolphin arms. So bring your forearms down onto the mat and get your placement first. So right hand onto left shoulder, left hand onto the right shoulder, and make sure that the elbows are the right distance apart. Bring the hands down in front and interlace the fingers. So you're always going to put the crown of the head down onto the floor. So to know where your crown of your head is, put the little pad here onto the forehead, and then this finger meets the crown of the head. So it's where That as a baby they have that little soft spot, that's the crown of your head, and that's the part that wants to be on the floor. So you are going to make sure that part is on the floor and that your elbows are fully pressed into the ground. You want to take the weight onto your elbows. You don't want to take the weight onto your neck. So your shoulders and elbows are doing a lot of work here. So just like when we did that cat cow in the beginning, you pressed away and we did those dolphins, that's the same feeling you want to start with in your headstand. So crown of head comes down. I'm going to just tuck myself in. Yeah, so crown of head is on the floor. Elbows are pressed in. Shoulders are away from ears. And just start by lifting your tailbone. And maybe walking the feet in a little bit. So start here. Maybe that's enough for you today and you don't want to go any further. And that's okay. But if you can, maybe start to lift one foot off. Maybe just see how that feels. Maybe lift the other foot off. Maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe you want to stay here for a few moments. Try and stay for at least 5 breaths if you are staying here. And if it feels good, you want to lift one foot off and then you want to bring the other foot in to meet it. And maybe just stay here. Maybe that's all you want to do today. Or maybe you can start extending one leg up. And maybe the other leg comes to meet it. Stay for 5 really good breaths. And then bring yourself down just as safely as you went up. Take a moment in embryo. Palms down by your feet, forehead on the floor. So even if you go up against a wall, I want you to go up in exactly the same way. Doesn't matter. Don't kick up wildly against the wall. That'll never teach you to get away from the wall. So even if you go against the wall, do that same thing. One knee in towards the chest. Bring the other knee in. Take a little pause there. Take one foot up. Take the other foot up. Feel the wall if you need to and then come away. But try and do it so that you're doing it without actually using the wall. And you're just doing it with your own core strength. And you will soon eventually get that feeling of going up and down under control, which will make you feel safe in your entry and exit there. So you can go ahead and practice that as many times as you like. You can pause the video, come back, and then let's come back into a downward dog. Get a little pedal out, a little stretch through the shoulders there. And then look to the top of your space. And step 1 foot forward, a little cross in the ankles, and just roll yourself down onto your mat. Bring your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a really nice hug. Remember, keep the right knee in towards the chest, extend the left leg down to the end of the mat. Very nice tug, flex the toes of both feet, pull the knee in towards the chest. And then take that knee across the body in a nice supine twist. Extend the right hand out, right leg's going across the body. And turn to look at your right hand. Bring that right knee in towards the chest, extend that right foot down to the end of the mat. Bring the left knee in towards the chest, flex the feet. Really big hug here, take the left knee across the body. Find a beautiful supine twist. Turn the head to look at the left hand. Bring the left knee back into the chest and extend the foot down to the end of the mat. Bring your palms down by your sides. Let the toes drop out and the heels drop in. The shoulders roll down. Smooth out your face. Eyelids gently to close.
coming into a nice easy breath. Allowing the breath really to return to itself. Know that you are doing okay. Take your right hand onto your belly and take your left hand onto your heart. Take a moment to give thanks. Thanks for this practice, for this ability to share this practice, for this ability for me to come into your space and for you to come into mine, knowing that we are still connected and we are still a community. Take your time here as long as you need in your Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me. Be safe, be well, be grateful. Namaste.